Welcome to a bonus episode of the Compose Like a Girl podcast. I'm your founder, host, and composer, Jocelyn Hagen. As you may know, the Compose Like a Girl initiative amplifies female identifying composers, helps conductors diversify their concerts, and works toward more equality in music programming and commissioning. Today, I'm sharing a mini conversation I had with Patti Arntz, one of my Compose Like a Girl mentees. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy. Well, hello, Patti. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
So, out of all the women on the Compose Like a Girl choral series, you are the composer that I've known the longest.
Yes, it's been, I just was thinking about it. It's 21 years since we first met and worked together.
That's just amazing. And so, for those of you not intimate with my history, I student taught under Patti Arntz at what was the name of that elementary school?
Sonneson Elementary in New Hope, Minnesota.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I have a degree also in vocal music ed, but I knew kind of by that point that I wasn't going to be doing that, but I was getting the degree anyway. And so I student taught under Patti. And also, one of the other amazing things to come out of our relationship is that Patti Arnst is the one that commissioned I Started Out Singing, which is one of my best-selling pieces on the Graphite site. So I feel like I always have to thank you whenever I see you.
Oh, it's a wonderful piece and so fun to have the kids sing it for the very first time. It was an honor.
Yeah. Well, I love that, our relationship goes back that far and that you saw me writing and you saw this thing and you also gave me the best advice ever in how to write for young voices. I took all of your advice and that's part of the reason why the piece is so successful. And then I love it in this new part of your life. Now you are writing music and sharing it with people. And why don't you talk a little bit about that and your journey to that?
Well, I retired from teaching back in 2017. So I had taught elementary music for 30 years. 15 of those years, I directed the Robbinsdale All District Choir, which is an honors choir of about 120 fifth graders, all auditioned, and just decided that I had a lot of experience with those voices and it was time to do some composing. So a few years before that, I had traveled to Norway and picked up some children's folk tune books. And I found one book, and it was called, the front cover said Ode Nordstoga. And not knowing Norwegian, I thought it was old Norwegian songs. But as it turns out, Ode Nordstoga is actually a very famous folk singer in Norway.
Oh,
So I just took this 8 measure melody and I came up with an introduction. And then I did some interludes and just kind of put the whole thing together. The cool part is that my husband's relatives live in Norway and are Norwegian. And so one of them helped me translate it because I had no idea what it meant. I just knew that the title Snøen er her meant snow is here. But it's a
hmm.
wonderful story about the first snow of the season. So the ground is warm and the snow starts to fall down and it gently covers the ground and the earth is still warm underneath. And the children are so excited for the snow, first snow of the year. And they run out to play. They're just having a great time. And all of a sudden it sort of develops into a snowball fight. And they throw snowballs and it's crazy. And pretty soon it becomes dark and it's time to go home, but they're all wet. So they go in and they sit by the fire and they warm up. So that's kind of the story. And I think it's a fun story, not only for children, but I think adults can relate to that sort of childlike feeling.
Oh, definitely. And I've always really loved winter and the snow, and my kids are the same way. They anticipate that first snowfall with just a lot of excitement. It's a wonderful piece and a beautiful melody, but also the lyrics are great. I love A Quilt of Snow as a title and as an idea. Um, and it feels very Minnesotan, I must say.
Yes, it definitely is.
Yeah, and another cool thing about this piece is that it has different versions. So you've written a two-part version, an SSA version, and also an SATB version. You want to talk a little bit about all those different versions of it?
Sure, I can talk about that. So I originally wrote it for the All District Choir, and they performed it. And actually, I met with you, Jocelyn, and you sort of spurred me on to say, why don't you think about an SSA version of this? And so I went back home, and it sort of exploded in my head. I probably had it done in a couple of days. So it just felt so easy
Mhm.
to move it to three parts. And then a couple of years later, there was a local choir that was they every summer they have a contest to have new composers submit work. And so I saw this maybe a couple of months before it was due, and I just said, all right, I'm going to take the accompaniment that goes along with the SA and the SSA parts, and I'm going to put it into the voices. So the SATB divisi is a cappella. I did add an instrument, a C instrument, to all the versions just to kind of give it a little bit more spice and flavor. When I did submit this SATB version, it was selected and performed, and it was a thrill to hear the music come alive.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful recording, and it's on the site. If you go to the Compose Like a Girl series, you can go and hear that. But I'm also hoping that so this we published a year or two ago. What are you working on now?
Well, part of my heritage is Czech. And in the last 5 or 6 years, I've been to Prague a couple of times. And I, of course, have picked up some folk tune books from the Czech Republic. And so I have one that I'm working on, and I have many ideas. It's just, it's all in my head, and it needs to kind of be written down.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope you continue to write. And one of the things I love, getting this relationship back with you and working on you with your music, but also just that it's never too late to start writing music.
Exactly.
Especially when you have such a huge wealth of knowledge from all those years of teaching. You know what works really well. You know uh, what words are interesting, what stories are interesting to tell, as well as all the technical things. So I love that about this initiative too. That I have a few retirees that are on my list, and I think it's really great to watch that happen. Or to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm super excited about doing that and doing more. Diving into it after retiring is really been such a fun thing for me, and to explore that area of my musical brain.
Yes.
When I'm teaching, or when I was teaching, there was no emotional and mental energy to
Yep.
work on something like that. And now I have more time, and it's I have lots of drive to do more.
Oh, that's so great. Well, I do hope that you share with me the new things once you're ready to share them. I'd love to see more of your work and help champion it through this choral series and initiative. Yeah, I'm happy that you're a part of it.
Well, I am so honored to be a part of it, and thank you so much, Jocelyn, for believing in me and promoting the things that I'm doing. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, let's listen to Quilt of Snow. Thank you, Patty, so much for being with us today and for your piece quilt of a quilt of snow. And again, that was the SATB version of the piece, but please check out the 2-part or the 3-part version. But yes, Patty, great work. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn.
Compose Like a Girl was produced by Justin Schell, Laura Kreider, and me, Jocelyn Hagen, with special help from fellow female composers Erica Malpass and Addie Struckman. The Compose Like a Girl theme song was composed by cellist Cicely Parnas. Thank you all for helping me with this vision. You can learn more about Patti and her music at Graphite Publishing. Check out the links in our show notes, especially the one that takes you to Patti's A Quilt of Snow, available through Graphite Publishing. Until next time, trust your instincts, be brave and unapologetic for your talents. Thanks for listening.